have you kind of, you know, when you kind of go through like an analysis of your relationships and of your, you know what I'm saying?
Fine tooth comb,
Yeah, you'd so
fine glass. Yeah.
thinking of and romancing and all of that business. Like, what do I want next? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Have you found that dating younger women versus mature women? Because I prefer to work with logic and less emotion.
Okay.
I find logical ways of like finding communication and organizing something. But have you found more arguments and disagreements with older, younger? Does it matter? Because I feel like everyone is different. Obviously, you can have mature younger people and you can have immature older people.
100%. For me, it's not an age thing. So one thing I really value is emotional maturity, right? So yeah, half the women I've dated have been a bit older, but half of them have been younger. Like my ex was, 4 years younger than me. A day ago, who was like 6 years younger than me, but a day ago, who was like 9 years older than me, and a woman who was 15 years older than me. So for me, it's about the emotional maturity of the person as opposed to their age. So I think that's why, like, disproportionately, I probably dated most guys, like most girls guys date are usually younger than them, right? But I'd say maybe about a third of the women I've dated have been older. Maybe half of them have been younger.
You find that some of them would kind of make, you know, when you have a mature relationship, there tends to be less arguments because the disagreements are handled with solution and of logic, right?
Yeah. So like handling the disagreements is better with the person who's emotionally mature. But I wouldn't be with someone if they weren't already like that.
So that makes sense. So of course you wouldn't want to take things further with a female that already kind of gives you toxic disagreement handling.
No. I mean, she might. Maybe we could have fun, but I wouldn't take it seriously. No. Which is a thing that guys do. Because the thing is, most girls that guys date, you wouldn't consider seriously. Sneeze. Go for it. She's feeling a bit ill.
Guys, it's honestly, I feel like I'm in the Antarctica.
Yeah. Are you that cold? You just sniffing all the time?
Literally.
I know, sometimes we go around. If you need to sneeze, you take a moment.
But I just get the whole COVID out, but jeez.
Yeah, fuck it. I had it a couple of weeks ago. I had this flu thing that's going around, so don't worry about it. But yeah. I mean, it's to do with the person. Have you dated guys older than you?
Yeah.
What's the oldest guy you've dated? You'd have to say it.
I'll give a round of applause there because fantastic experience. Fantastic.
Okay, so why is it
because the older men have more, they put 2 and 2 and they get 4. Do you know what I'm saying? They're size. So obviously I feel a little bit more valued at times. I feel like a little bit more that there has been more thought process going into speaking, but I also feel like I'm at a meeting sometimes because with older guys, they have, everybody has different responsibilities, and obviously how you handle your responsibilities is completely up to the individual. Yeah. But I think handling and understanding a man that's older, he has a different mindset on things. Some like to work the old-fashioned way and be really like romantic and be really kind of like love swept, so you all match that energy and be really in your feminine bag, which is delightful. But then I think with them as well, it's kind of like you don't want to be a nuisance to them. You don't want to feel like you're in the way. And I think as a female, once you get that thought in your head that you are being a nuisance to this person by maybe messaging them too much or maybe kind of talking a bit too much, being a bit too much, you kind of don't know if you should continue being that person or really kind of read the room and kind of only message him when he messages you. Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear you. I think if you're seeing a guy, there's nothing wrong with initiating the message. But like, if for example, let's say he has a really busy day, you message him in late morning, and then he gets back to you like late afternoon. Like, just don't give him a hard time about it.
Of course. But what happens if I made a mistake of not airing you? So I'm really bad.
Oh, we talked about a date.
Okay, no, but this is more like what happens if he airs you and he hasn't, if you air him and he hasn't followed up with a, hello, are you alive kind of thing? If he hasn't followed up within, so say, a week, and you just, got in a message and forgot about it just by being...
No, if there's a guy that you're dating and you air him for a week, you don't care. Let's be real. Man, let's just keep it a buck. That is like, if this was the guy you're like, no, I really see something weird, etc. Even if you forgot to like press send that morning, you'd be like, oh, I've not heard from so and so. Let me check. Oh, I didn't even send the message, and you would send it. So if you've aired him for a week,
that's the kind of a thing that can happen.
I'll be honest. If a girl aired me for a week and we kind of been talking, I'd just be like, she ain't into it. I'm just gonna leave it. And then if she met, well, that's funny because I've had that. And then girls are funny. I have a question for you. I Yeah, I met this girl at an event. Gorgeous girl. Got on well, etc. She already knew of like my content. She was like, I've seen your stuff. I was like, oh, she seemed really cool. I like her. I was like, let's go on a date. So I took her out for a date and stuff. And even arranging the date, it seemed a bit lackluster. Was it lackluster? Nah, I guess it wasn't actually. It was fun. But it wasn't as keen as, I don't say keen, but I wasn't getting as much interest from like, in a sense of when I know a girl's into me. Went on a date.
Wasn't giving you...
It was like she was open, but she wasn't like as interested in maybe what I've been used to.
Okay.
And then went on a date, had a really fun time. She seemed, I felt like I had to warm her up a bit. And then I noticed she didn't really make that much effort on the date in terms of like dress sense wise. I was like, okay. And we had a fun time and stuff, but I dropped her off and I was just like, you know what? She seems really cool, but this feels really platonic. So I just messaged her. I just said, hey, look, it was really nice to, hang out and stuff. Personally for me, this feels kind of a bit more platonic and stuff, so I think you're a lovely girl, but I think we should just keep it friends. And then for about a week, she was just on my case. Want to hang out, want to see me, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, why?
The chase. It is the chase. It is the chase. I told you, it's the chase. Because if a girl hears that she doesn't want to be, like, if someone tells this girl that you're not really wanted around here anymore in a way that could have...
But I said we can be friends.
Nah, dog.
What's wrong with that?
No, she wants, like, if she has now... There was an original sense of attraction then. If she was on your case, there was an original sense of attraction.
See, do you know what that tells me though? That shows like a lack of maturity. Because if she was, let's say for example, let's play both sides. If she was interested, but she was just playing really cold, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm a very open person. I show up very genuine, right? So if she was just playing it cold, I'd be like, okay, cool. We just don't buy them same frequency, which is fine. Not for me. If she wasn't interested, but what she's now chasing is validation, that's even more of a reason I'm like,
And also validation. I think it's because I think it's because she has now understood that, because you said it's okay, we can be friends. You basically outlined that it could have been more. It could have been more than that. That's the journey that you were going on. So the fact that it's blatant in black and white, even on a message for her to read, and she can see that you wanted her. She's like, okay, cool. But now you want to be her friend. She's like, no, I won't let that run. Hey, what you did?
I just said I said friend to be nice. I knew I wasn't gonna be friends with her. Not in a dickish way, but just like because we don't have same. Like if I saw her, I'd be like, oh, I hope you're good. Do you know what I mean? We could be friendly, but we're not like gonna hang out and stuff like that. No, it's just interesting. I just find it. Yeah. When other girls are, nah, I can't.
I think actually, do you know what? Once you've experienced outside,
I had a girl blackmail me once.
Someone blackmail you?
Yeah. I had a girl blackmail me into sleeping with her.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
King, did I tell you this story? This girl.
Someone blackmailed you into sleeping with her.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
She was like, okay, lost. I'm really baiting myself out. Don't come for me. Girl, dancer, really attractive, gorgeous. Went on a first date. Nice, all that stuff. Went on a second date. After the second day, I was like, oh, we'd had a couple of drinks on the second day. I'm not gonna say what you did. And I was like, oh, do you want me to drop her off at home? Because her house was on the way to mine. Or do you want to come back to mine and we can just like, have a drink, do the evening, just carry on the evening? She's like, oh yeah, I'll come back to yours. Came back to mine, had the last few more drinks. And then she was just like, oh, you're gonna have to, it was quite late. It was like 12:30 a.m. And she's like, oh, you have to like drop me at home. You have to like drop me at home in like the next 30 minutes. I was like, oh, I've been drinking. I can't drive. And she was like,
"Lee."
and she just switched. She was like, oh, like you fucking like trapped me at your house. You blah, 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 all of this stuff. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, I offered to drop you at home. You didn't have to come here, right? And you said you want to come. Also, I'm not holding you here against your will. If you want to leave, the door is there.
But she thought you were gonna take that home.
No, she asked me. I was like, I've been drinking. But I was like, if you want to leave, you're welcome to leave, right? And then she was like, oh, okay, well, what did she say? She was like, okay, well, you have to like get me my Uber. I was like, I don't have to do anything. I was like, first off, I'm not your dad, okay, right? And she was like, oh, I don't have enough money for an Uber. Oh, that was it. I was like, well, if you want, you can call an Uber and like we can go on. She's like, I don't have enough money for an Uber. And I was like, you're a grown woman. To be fair, she was what, 20? She was 24. I was like, you're a woman. How can you go to a man's house or go somewhere but you don't have enough money to get home? Which is a lie because she like owned her place somewhere. Okay. Anyway, there's this whole back and forth. She like completely switched. She was like saying that I trapped her and all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. If you're not comfortable, I don't want you to be here either. I'm going to down this bottle of water and then I'm going to take you home.
That's a gentleman move.
Right. And then she switched again and she was just like, they started being all over me. Like, no, like, I want to stay. Let's continue chatting, all this stuff. I was like, no, I'm not. Nah, I'm like, I'm going to take you home. Like, you're right. I'm like, if you don't want to be, I was like, yeah, I'm drinking this water. And I was just like, look, I agree. I'm like, if you don't feel comfortable being here, I don't think you should be here either. I think you should be at your house, right? So she was like all over me, all of this stuff. And then she was like, no, like, she was like, I really like want to sleep with you. I really want you to do things to me, but all this stuff. And I was like, I'm going to be honest. I'm not really in the mood anymore. I'm not really feeling it. And then she was like, oh, if you don't like, if you don't sleep with me, then I'll never see you again. And I was like, are you trying to blackmail me to sleep with you? She was like, yeah, I'm what? And I was like, wow, you've never been told no, have you? She was like, no, I always get what I want.
Okay,
And I was like, not today.
she said not today.
And then she started doing some stuff and then we just sleep together. But the point is, she did try and blackmail me.
Yeah, but okay. So, this is a thing that's actually, because you brought up that story, but I think a lot of girls have the impression as if they're going out with a man and going on a date with a man, he is going to basically pay for everything. He is going to provide that date for them.
I did, but I'm not her father.
I know, and I think a lot of men...
I still did. I took her home in the morning.
I mean, you still took her home. That was thank you, because do you know what? Girls think that... do you know what? It's really it's a little bit... I don't know how to say it, because girls expect to be taken care of by going on a date. So if they end up on a bus on the way home, your brownie points have gone down.
I'll be honest.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but I'll be real. I don't. Why does she feel entitled to that?
Because I think there's the impression of that you were originally going to drop her home.
No, I said I offered to drop her home because she was on the way to mine. But then if she left in the morning and I'm like working, I can't take her if I'm working, can I?
No, and then obviously you have to come in with the understanding. Yes, but of course, like, I think when you are initially going out with somebody, you feel like that person wants me. He needs to take care of me in a way. Do you know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but I didn't know if I wanted because I didn't know her that well. I provided the evening, I planned the evening, all of that. Yeah, cool.
So this is the question.
Go for it.
Would you be inclined to not then spend so much on someone that you've obviously just met. Obviously, I think with our generation now, it's kind of the thing. You're not really going to spend so much on someone you don't really know because you don't know the outcome of what's going to happen.
I also don't know if I like them. True, yeah, you're right.
But if you were, second date, third date, maybe, like, you would start to be more enthusiastic in spending.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think when it comes to a female, if she's not getting kind of what she's expecting.
Well, what I'm asking is, why does she expect that? That's the problem. She shouldn't expect it, because that's like me saying, okay, well, if you're going out with me as a woman, then I'm assuming you like me. So if you like me, we should sleep together whenever I want. Is that fair for me to expect? Because you wouldn't be on the date if you didn't like me, right?
No, it's true.
Right. So then should I just expect that you should sleep with me whenever?
But then you also have the people out there that are just like, I'm just here for the vibes. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
Aren't even there for like trying to even become something.
So you say people are going on dates with people they don't even like?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bad thing. Then they shouldn't be doing.
Do you think having that lifestyle of dating X, Y, and Z, A, B, C is like toxic for yourself?
For guys or girls?
For both.
I'm biased because I know guys enjoy novelty and variety. I don't think it's healthy long term, though. Not for men or women, if I'm being honest. I don't think it is.
Because like I said, the illusion of options, isn't it? Like,
I mean, if you're dating multiple people, then I guess they are your options. But the main illusion of options people get is like from like dating apps and social media, mainly women, because most guys struggle. Most guys don't have options.
But it does come down to like online kind of forms.
Yeah, but I think most guys, like, for most guys, they might look at your profile and be like, oh yeah, she's really cute or something. But that doesn't mean they think they can get you.
I mean,
but as a woman, if you slide into a guy's DM and you invite him over, 9 times out of 10, the guy's going to come. No pun intended.
That was a good one.
Just saying.
That was a good one. It's very true, actually. I think that men are more they're more enthusiastic in terms of like, oh yeah, I've been invited, yeah, going. Some girls, I think, kind of have to, like, I got invited to come out to see someone the other night. I didn't go because I'm thinking of the circumstances of what's going to happen when I'm there. And I'm like, I don't really want to.
Good. I love that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's so positive.
I'm
proud of you.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.